Assalamu alaikum. I'm Amina Haider, lecturer, Institute of Business Studies. I'm here with the course of Business Research Methods. This is lecture number 13, and the topic for today's discussion is scales in research. The topics that we are going to discuss today include scale and types of scales that includes nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. Then we would see what is the difference between all these four types of scale that we just mentioned. So moving towards our first topic, that is, we are going to understand what a scale in research means. Scale is a tool or a mechanism by which individuals are distinguished as to how they differ from one another on the variable of interest to our study. Scale is actually an object, or it could be a device that is used to measure or quantify any object or another object. So it's the process of measuring. Measurement is assigning some sort of number or symbols to characteristics of certain objectives. For example, if a thing exists, it exists in some amounts. And if it exists in some amount, it can be measured. So a scale is used to categorize, or it is used to quantify variables. There are four basic types of scale that are used in research. Number one is nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. We will discuss each of these scale in detail in the upcoming slides. Nominal scale. A nominal scale is the one that allows the researcher to assign subject to certain categories or groups. Nominal scale do not measure quantity, only type. Nominal scale classify members of population into two or more categories. The categories must be mutually exclusive and exhaustive. That means that each and every member of the population must be capable of being classified into one and only one category. So, nominal scales have no arithmetic properties. No category is greater or lesser than any other category. The category values are simply names, hence the term nominal. Here, there are two nominal scales explain what is your department. A person has to choose between the option given to him. The answer should fall into either of the classes. What is your gender? He has to choose between male and female. Hence, the variable are used as tag, and the answer to this question should be either male or female. Nominal scale, the nationality of individual in a group of tourists to a country during a certain year. We would nominally scale this variable in the following mutually exclusive and exhaustive categories. Like earlier, we said by mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive category, it means that each and every member of the population must be capable of being classified into one and only one category. So if he has to choose the nationality, then he has to choose between the options that are given to him. Ordinal scale. It only categorizes variable in such a way as to denote difference among various category. It also rank order categories in some meaningful way. So in ordinal scale, the members of a population are fall into ranks from most to least or from least to most. Rank value do not possesses the arithmetic property of equal interval or true 0 points. This means that with ordinal data we know only that one member of a population has either more or less of some quality than another member. But we do not know just how much more or less. For example, we cannot say how much better the best tennis player is than the second best player or the third best player. In order to know just how much better one rank is than another would require equal intervals between ranks in order to perform addition and subtraction. Also, we cannot say that second best tennis player is twice as good as the fourth best tennis player. So, in ordinal scale, they do not indicate magnitude of difference, but only the relative position of item. It has no absolute value. It only allows ranking of item from highest to lowest or from lowest to highest. What is the highest level of education you have completed? So we have to choose between the options that are given to us. Example of ordinal scale. So you have to rank the following Five characteristics in a job in terms of how important they are for you. These characteristics are mentioned: interaction with others, use different skills, complete a task to the end, serve others, work independently. You should rank the most important item as 1, the next in importance as 2, and so on until you have ranked each one of them from 1 to 5. So, this ordinal scale helps the researcher to determine the percentage of respondents who consider interaction with others as most important, those who consider using a number of skill as most important, and so on. Such knowledge might help in designing jobs that would be seen as most enriched by the majority of employees. Uh, So we can see that ordinal scale actually provides you with more data than nominal scale. So like we just said, we know the difference, but we know what we do not know their magnitude. And this deficiency is overcome by interval scale. Interval scale, whereas the nominal scale allow us only to qualitatively distinguish groups by categorizing into mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive sets, and ordinal scales to rank, order the preferences. The interval scale let us measure the distance between any 2 points on the scale. So interval scale have the characteristic of order and also the characteristic of equal intervals. So it indicates the order as well as difference between variable. However, interval scale do not have a true 0 point. So interval scale is quantitative as it can quantify the difference between the values. The interval scale is the preferred scale in statistics as it helps to assign any numerical values to arbitrary assessment such as feeling, etc. Interval scale indicates the extent to which you agree with the following statement as they relate to your job by circling the appropriate number against each using the scale given below. You have to circle the number that represent your feeling at this particular moment in the most best way. There are no right or wrong answer. Please answer every question. I invest more in my work than I get out of it. 1. Show that you disagree completely, and 5 is closer to you agree to the statement completely. So you have to choose the option somewhere in between. Ratio scale. It overcomes the disadvantage of arbitrary origin point of the interval scale in that it has an absolute 0 point, which is a meaningful measurement point. What is your age? Is a ratio scale get their names from the fact that ratios can be calculated using ratio data. However, you do not have to confuse the meaning of ratio with ratio scale. They are not identical terms. Ratio scale have all the arithmetic properties of interval scale plus a true 0 point. Therefore, ratio data can be treated as true numbers, permitting addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. Some examples of ratio scales are respondents' yearly income, respondents' age, height, or weight, and the number of individuals living in respondent household. The ratio scale is the most powerful of the four scale because it has a unique zero origin. The difference between different scales is depicted in the figure given below. This is the reference book that I use for today's lecture. That's it for today. Thank you.